Have you ever looked at those stories of overnight success and thought, how did they do that? Well, what if I told you the real secret to getting things done isn't some huge heroic effort? What if it's something quieter, something you do every day? Today, we're going to talk about why just showing up consistently is the most powerful strategy you have.
So think about it. On one side, you've got intensity. This is the all-nighter, the massive burst of energy to hit a deadline. It looks impressive for sure, but we all know where it leads, right? Quick burnout. But on the other side, you've got consistency. These are the small, almost invisible steps you take every single day. It doesn't feel like much at the time, but this is the real path to growth that actually lasts. All right, so first, let's talk about the big trap that so many of us fall into. You've heard of it, you've probably lived it. It's the whole idea of hustle culture.
I mean, our world is absolutely obsessed with the finish line, right? We see the best-selling book, not the 1,000 early mornings spent writing it. We see the viral video, not the hundreds of failed attempts before it. And because of that, we get this pressure for instant results, which just traps us in this cycle of going all out for a week and then crashing for a month. It's a complete recipe for burnout, not real, sustainable success.
Okay, so if that's the trap, how do you get out? Well, the answer is so simple it almost feels like a trick. The secret is all about the power of daily.
This right here is the big mind shift you have to make. Real, game-changing success, it's not created in one spectacular moment. It's built, piece by piece, through all those small, repeated actions. It's not about what you do in a day. It's about what you do every day.
So why is this small steps approach so incredibly effective? Well, it really boils down to three key things. First, it builds trust. Second, it unleashes this almost magical force called the compound effect. And third, it runs on discipline, which you'll see is way more reliable than just waiting for motivation to strike.
All right, so let's actually break these three pillars down. This is the good stuff, the real mechanics of why simply showing up day after day is pretty much the ultimate success hack.
First up, let's talk about trust. When you're consistent, when you show up for your team, for your customers, for your family, you become reliable. People just know they can count on you. But you know what? The most important trust you're building is actually with yourself. Every single time you keep that small promise to yourself, you're proving that you are someone who follows through. That's huge.
Now, for pillar number 2, and honestly, this is where the real magic happens. It's called the compound effect. I think it was Einstein who supposedly called it the eighth wonder of the world. It's just this simple idea that tiny, smart choices, when you repeat them over time, snowball into massive, unbelievable results. Let me give you a super simple example. Imagine you decide to read just 10 pages of a book every day. That's it. It's a tiny goal, right? Almost feels too easy. It's maybe 15 minutes of your day. On any given day, it feels like you've accomplished basically nothing.
But you stick with it. You just keep doing your 10 pages. After a year, that tiny little habit has added up to over 3,600 pages. Whoa! Suddenly that's not so invisible anymore.
And here's where it gets crazy. That many pages is equal to about 12 full-sized books. 12! You've just become a serious reader, not because you pulled some heroic all-day reading marathon, but because of a tiny, consistent action you barely even noticed. That is the compound effect in action.
So that brings us to the third pillar, which is all about what keeps this whole engine running. It's about choosing discipline over motivation. Look, motivation is great. It feels awesome, but it's just a feeling, it's fleeting, it's emotional, and it will disappear the second things get hard. Discipline, though, that's a commitment. That's the thing that gets you to read your 10 pages on the days you really don't feel like it. Consistency is built on that commitment, not on a feeling.
Okay, so the why makes sense. But what about the how? How do you actually do this every day without getting stuck because you're worried about doing it perfectly?
This next idea is, I think, one of the most freeing concepts ever. You have to let go of perfection. It's not about giving 100% perfect effort every single day. Nobody can do that. It's about refusing to give 0%. Seriously, showing up and giving just a 60% effort is infinitely better than not showing up at all because it keeps your momentum going.
I mean, just look at the math. A perfect, flawless plan that you never start, its value is 0, nothing. But imperfect action that you actually do every day, that creates real, measurable results. It's not even close. Messy, consistent action always wins. And this all leads us to the final and I think most powerful part of this whole thing. Because when you truly commit to being consistent,
You're not just changing what you do, you're actually changing who you are.
It works like a ripple effect. Those small, daily actions you take start to build momentum, and that feeling of moving forward fuels your confidence. Then, with that new confidence, you start to get inspired to aim for even bigger goals. And over time, showing up stops being this thing you have to force yourself to do. It just becomes part of your identity.
Let's just walk through that chain one more time. It all starts with one small daily action. That action builds a little bit of momentum. That momentum makes you feel more confident. That confidence inspires you to dream bigger. And chasing those bigger dreams is what forges your new identity as a finisher. It's this incredible positive feedback loop that all starts with one tiny choice.
You know, when you really strip it all back, the conclusion is so simple. This isn't about being the smartest person in the room or the one with the most intense bursts of energy. In the long run, the game is always won by the most consistent player. The person who just keeps showing up will always outlast the person who only shows up when they feel inspired.
So in the end, success isn't some destination you arrive at. It's an identity you build day by day through your choices. So the question I want to leave you with is pretty simple. Based on what you do tomorrow, who are you choosing to become?